Sup. This is your boy at Blue Trades, and I'm going to be doing a overview / deck profile for my Bujins. This deck isn't TCG format ready yet. We are still missing key cards to make this deck as explosive as it can be. Those two cards being Bujin Haruko and Ties of the Brethren. These two cards, just in general, create so much board advantage that it's almost impossible to come back from. As you saw in the dual replays, not having any disruption after your turn 1, it's almost guaranteed you'll have game. What I like about this deck is it can go first or second. It's really preference. I tried going second for a while, and now I'm going first. Going first lets you establish your Ties of the Brethren play. If you open up any Yamato, Mikazuchi, or Arasuda, you're able to open up the 1 combo. And that gives you so much advantage by itself. So, overall, this deck it's still missing some consistency. It has little issues, which is why I'm trying to add some draw power into the deck. You see 2 Into the Void, 1 Day Apiece, and Upstart Goblin. Into the Void, I was testing at 3 at first, but coming to this testing it out, I don't like having to discard a Crane, discard an Honest, or just one of my normal summons. It doesn't really help the deck, but giving you the extra +1 does help when you're pushing for game. That's why I went down to 2. 1 Day Apiece is really the only draw power card I want to see turn 1, because you can activate it, you don't take damage next turn, so that's the only reason why that's in there. Upstart, it's Upstart. If I could run 3 Upstart, I'd drop all the rest and just run 3 Upstart. That's the best draw power card in the game right now. So let's go on to the monsters. You see 3 Yamato, 2 Hirume, 1 Mikazuchi, 1 Arasuda, and 3 Haruko for the Beast Warrior lineup. The reason why you only run 1 Mikazuchi and 1 Arasuda is you don't want to clog up your hands with them. They're literally just there for the extra names, so you can have more monsters on the field. Hirume is by far the best Beast Warrior in this build. Going Turbo, it really allows this deck to thrive. The explosive plays it can make, as you saw in the hero game, there was no board interaction between me and my opponent, so I got to do whatever I wanted to do. And being able to establish a board like that, it's crazy. With Bujins, who would think? Yamato, of course, is still Yamato. You have to play 3 Yamato. 2 Hirume is just right. 3 is overkill. Because you're going to probably resolve 2 Susanoo in 1 turn, and she's almost always your target, unless you already have her in hand or you have a tanky to search her, which is, I've done that a few times. You're missing the one downside of playing only 1 Arasuda is you're missing the interaction of Banish, Hirume, Special, and Special Arasuda. But you're not really too keen. You don't need that in this deck anymore, because that was one of the big powerhouse plays back in Judgment of the Light, Legacy of the Valiant, and all that. That was one of the big powerhouse plays. Now in this deck, you can normal Yamato, special, until your board is just so full of monsters that your opponent is kind of locked down. So yeah, you never really want to draw Mikazuchi or Arasuda, but when you do, it's fine as long as you have a Ties of the Brethren. Because if you open up any one of Yamato, Mikazuchi, or Arasuda, even Haruko, but Haruko is not the best one to open up with because you want to search him. But if you open up any of them, you can just activate Ties and get the other 2 out, and that sets up your board. So yeah, that's pretty. I'd say this is probably going to be the main lineup when Bujins hit full power. But for the beasts, of course, we have the 2 Hare, 2 Turtle, 1 Krillin, 3 Crane, and 2 Honest. Those should really be standard always in Bujins. Nothing really to say about that. And the last monster I decided to run was one Collapse Serpent. The reason behind Collapse Serpent is it's literally just a free +1 to make rank 4s. That's it. Your whole deck is like just banish one to summon, make a rank 4. Nothing really to say about that. It helps extend your plays. It makes Amaterasu live again if there's nothing in your banish zone. It makes Carnation live. And yeah. I'm debating on testing out a BLS and a Chaos Sorcerer, but we'll get to that when we get there. It just depends on the consistency issues. So running those kind of monsters in this kind of deck with already some consistency issues is kind of a problem. But yeah, work on the consistency and maybe I'll try it out. For the spell lineup, nothing too big, drastic that you would like, oh my god, what's he playing? Pretty standard. So 3 Tenki, 3 Carnation, 3 Ties. You guys probably don't know what like Photon Lead does if you haven't been around a while, but Photon Lead literally just says special summon 1 level 4 light monster from your hand attack position. That's it. So this card like just allows you to extend your play so much farther than you would be able to, because after you already use your normal summon, after that Hurume is your only extra summon. So by having Photon Lead, it lets you summon a hare, a turtle, a crane, a quillin, any other monster in your deck besides Collapse Serpent and Hurume. It lets you summon any other monster and just totally extend your combos. So yeah, 3. That's a quick play, so you can activate it on your opponent's turn to save yourself. I've done it before where declare an attack. You activate this, you summon the Beast Warrior, and then you drop a crane or drop an Onyx on him. So yeah. After that, we have the Draw Power Engine, the 2 Into the Void, 1 day piece, and Upstart Goblin. I already explained this, so I'm not really going to go into it. And then we have the Regeki. Board clearing is kind of essential in this deck, to be honest. That's why you see the 2 Dark Hole in the side deck. Being able to just push all your monsters at one time for game is really big. This deck has a really big OTK potential, and you want to let that go through almost all the time. And of course, Instant Fusion, big powerhouse card, extended plays again more. If Norden was more than just 1, of course I'd play more than 1 Instant Fusion to make even more plays. But in the last card run is Warning, because it's a turbo deck and you don't want to have cards that are dead in your hand. So Warning is just a 1 of. For the extra deck, you play 3 Susanoo, 2 Amaterasu, 1 Kagasuchi, 1 Tsukiyumi, 2 Omega, 2 Castell, 1 Diamond Dire, and the little Utopia engine and Norden. 3 Susanoo is so mandatory in this kind of deck. Being able to make more than 1 per turn is broken. Amaterasu, 2 of is all you need, because after you use the first 2, you're only going to make Susanoo after that to kill other monsters. You don't need more than 2. So 3 and 2 is what you need, no more, no less. Kagasuchi and Tsukiyumi. Tsukiyumi is a very situational card, so I rarely go into him. It's maybe for a wall. Other than that, nothing else. Kagasuchi is a big playmaker sometimes, being able to make Amaterasu, Susanoo, and Kagasuchi fueling your graveyard while giving you more targets in your graveyard, like Turtle and Hare. And just more pluses while raising its attack bonus, plus being able to save your monsters from being destroyed. Omega is a really good target. It's a Carnation target. It's a really good effect, being able to detach, and it's unaffected by spell and trap cards on your opponent's side of the field. Well, it's unaffected by the rest of the turn, but yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, Omega, just a really good card to push for game. I'll make it if I see my opponent has 2 or 3 backer. I'll just make that, and they can't do anything about it because it's unaffected. So a really good game pusher. And Castell, of course, another Carnation target. Just sending stuff back to the deck, flipping stuff face down is really good. Being able to send back their Scales or Sky Iris, that's one of the biggest problematic cards in the game right now, is Sky Iris. Just being able to send that back to the deck, really good. Diamond Dare, of course, the 1 up to pop. And the Utopia engine, nothing to say there, Nord, nothing to say there. For the Max C's, for the side deck, we run 3 Max C, 3 Veiler, 2 Lancia, 2 Flying C. What the main deck lacks is, of course, traps. We lack cards that can stop your opponent from doing something. So that's why in the side deck we want all these hand traps to try and stall your opponent out and slow them down so we can go off next turn. Maxi just gains so much advantage against Fire King Cosmo, BA, PK Fire, Veiler, kills Monarchs, some Pepe matchups being able to stop their sorcerer plays or whatever. Then we run the 2 Lancia for, of course, Cosmo and Monarchs, being able to stop their banishing for Adia and all that, the Pantheism and all that. Cosmos, you just stand by face ditch and they can't do anything basically. Flying Sea, obviously, BA, PK. Sometimes you can set it against Pendulums. Nothing really to say about that. It's really self-explanatory for the side deck. And then for the rest, we have 2 Dark Hole. Like I said, if I'm playing like a Pendulum deck, Pepe, or a deck that this deck has to try and run over, I'm going to decide in the board clearing to just kill their monsters without me having to do anything about it. Then I can go off and just OTK. And then Massacre Restrict, obviously Monarchs. So, an overview of the deck is, it can be a really powerful deck if built right and you know your place. This deck, I cannot stress this enough, it's not an autopilot type of deck. You have to know what you're doing play by play to establish the biggest board. It's basically like playing Fire King Cosmo. If you don't do every play right, you're going to end up with a board that's not right. You can misplay one time throughout the searching and the summoning, and instead of ending up with the Susanoo, Kagasuchi, Amaterasu, and an extra rank 4, I usually go into Utopia Lightning. But instead of ending with the board like that, you can end up with an Amaterasu and 1 monster on the board, just because you misplayed. So I cannot stress this enough. Test if you want to learn the deck. This deck will be a big contender for like one of the best decks when we get the new support. It's not confirmed when we're going to get it, but we'll be getting it probably, I'd say, within this year or the next year. Yeah, I really love this deck. I've loved this since it came out, and it's just a fun deck. As of right now, it's a fun deck. It's not too competitive because, of course, Cosmos and all that. But once the list hits, this deck could be a big contender if you get the right support. Plus, there's generic support that always comes out in each set that can always bump up the power of the deck. So yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for listening and watching. If you have any questions about what I chose, why I chose this, if you want to see more replays, more duel videos, everything like that, just leave a comment down below and make sure to get back to you with what you want. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to rate, comment, like, subscribe. Shout us out. We're trying to get big up in here. We deserve it, man. Team Culture Kings out.